Imagine a mosquito enters your house. Instead of killing it with a simple swat, you decide to burn the entire building to the ground. The mosquito, without a doubt, is dead. But you also find yourself without a home. Allergies work in a similar way. They are exaggerated responses of our immune system against substances that do not actually pose a real threat. It's as if our body is programmed to confront much bigger threats. But when it fails to find them, it turns anything harmless into a mortal enemy. Allergies do not have a single form. They can appear in response to elements as varied as pollen, dust, cat hair, certain foods, or even one's own sweat. And the worst part is that there's no way to predict when an allergy might be triggered. You may have eaten shellfish your whole life without a problem, but one day, without warning, your body decides that a shrimp is public enemy number one and reacts with a violent response. Swelling, difficulty breathing, skin rashes. What was harmless yesterday can send you to the hospital in a matter of minutes today. But why does this happen? What has caused our body to behave this way? There is an intriguing hypothesis suggesting that we ourselves have caused this problem by eliminating an enemy that accompanied us for thousands of years, parasitic worms. For the majority of our history, humans have been the involuntary hosts of a large number of parasitic worms. They were unwelcome companions that took advantage of any lapse in hygiene to settle in our bodies. They entered us through contaminated water and could remain inside for years, feeding on us and releasing their offspring in our feces. It was not just an individual problem, but an inevitable reality for entire generations. But although these parasites were harmful, our biology found a way to defend itself, and this is where our immune system comes into play. Fighting a parasite is not like facing a bacterium or a virus. You can't just encapsulate it and eliminate it. A worm is a huge creature on a microscopic scale, with tough skin that protects it even from stomach acids. To deal with such a threat, the body developed a defense system that we could describe as a complete army. B cells are responsible for producing antibodies specialized in detecting worms. Mast cells are like landmines, filled with histamine and other inflammatory substances, waiting for the signal to detonate. Eosinophils. They attack directly with toxic compounds, trying to weaken the intruder. Basophils. They coordinate the attack, ensuring the battle remains active until the parasite is expelled. When the immune system detected a worm, it triggered an extreme reaction. Inflammation, mucus, diarrhea, all with the sole purpose of expelling the invader as quickly as possible. But then, humans found a definitive solution. We developed better sanitary conditions, learned to purify water, and with advances in medicine, eradicated most of these parasites. However, our immune system did not receive the software update. It continues to function as if the worms were there, waiting for a threat that never arrives. And when it doesn't find its old enemy, attacks anything that resembles it, even if it is completely harmless. Thus, instead of launching an attack against a real worm, it now does so against pollen, dust, or a simple peanut. In the battle between humans and parasites, each side has developed new strategies to overcome the other. We designed an immune system capable of reacting violently against the invaders. But the worms did not sit idly by. Instead of directly facing our defenses, they evolved to manipulate them. They secreted chemicals that calmed the immune system, lulling it to prevent it from attacking them. It was as if the worms had learned to hack our body to go unnoticed. To counteract this, our immune system became even more aggressive, developing extreme responses to compensate for the sedative effect of the parasites. For thousands of years, this balance between worms and the immune system worked, until humans intervened. With the arrival of modern sanitation and advances in medicine, we have almost completely eliminated the parasites that had accompanied us for generations. In theory, this was a victory, but in practice we created an unexpected problem. Our immune system remained just as aggressive as before, but now it didn't have a real enemy to unleash its fury against. It was as if you had trained a guard dog all its life to protect you from thieves, but one day the thieves disappear, and the dog, in its frustration, starts attacking your friends and family. Without worms to combat, the immune system began to react to completely harmless substances. Common foods, particles in the air could become the new enemy. This is essentially what happens with an allergy, a disproportionate defense mechanism that fights against threats that do not exist. The irony is that, in its attempt to protect us, our body ends up causing us more harm than the supposed danger could. But what exactly happens when we have an allergic reaction? To understand it, we must see the battlefield from within. Imagine that your immune system is a team of firefighters. Their job is to put out fires and protect your body from real threats. But in an allergy, the smoke detectors are faulty and raise the alarm for anything. A speck of dust, the scent of a flower, or simple contact with a latex garment. When this happens, the fire brigade does not just respond. It acts with brutal and disproportionate force. It does not use a hose with water, but rather sprays chemical foam all over the city, evacuates thousands of people, and closes all the streets. It is a completely exaggerated reaction to something that wasn't even a real fire. When an allergic reaction is triggered, a series of chaotic events happen in the body. Inflammation. Blood vessels dilate, allowing large amounts of fluid to escape into the tissues. This causes swelling, redness, and in many cases, extreme itching. Digestive problems. If the attack occurs in the digestive system, it can cause vomiting, diarrhea, and abdominal pain, as if the body were trying to expel something toxic, even if it is not. Difficulty breathing. In the lungs, the muscles of the airways contract and fill with mucus, making oxygen intake difficult. This is why many allergies affect breathing and can trigger asthma attacks. In some cases, the reaction is so intense that it becomes a medical emergency. Anaphylaxis. It's as if the immune system decides to use all its resources in a single attack without caring about the collateral damage. During an anaphylaxis, the blood vessels lose so much fluid that the blood pressure drops drastically. The muscles of the airways close almost completely, blocking the entry of air. Within minutes, the person can lose consciousness or even die if they do not receive immediate attention. It's terrifying to think that something as insignificant as a peanut or a bee sting can provoke such a reaction. But the most incredible thing is that all this is a programming error in our body, a defense mechanism that continues to act as if parasites were still present. So, if allergies are the result of an immune system that became outdated, what can we do about it? Allergies have increased dramatically in the last 100 years, especially in developed countries with high hygiene standards. But there are many things we still don't understand. Why some people develop allergies and others do not. Why a child can be allergic to nuts, but their sibling is not. Why some allergies disappear over time, while others persist or even worsen if the disappearance of parasitic worms is the main cause. Because some people exposed to more hygienic conditions do not develop allergies at all, science continues to seek answers to these questions. And although the parasite hypothesis makes a lot of sense, there are also other factors that could be contributing to this allergy epidemic. The lack of parasites is not the only change we have experienced as a species in recent centuries. We have also altered our diet, our relationship with nature, and even the microorganisms that inhabit us. Some hypotheses suggest that the reduction in the diversity of our gut microbiome could be a key factor. In the past, we lived in constant contact with bacteria that helped regulate our immune system. Now, with more processed diets and the excessive use of antibiotics, we have lost many of these beneficial bacteria. Another possible culprit is the increase in pollution. The air we breathe today contains a mixture of chemical particles that could be overloading our immune system, making it more prone to overreacting. Or maybe the problem is not a single cause, but a combination of several factors: fewer parasites, a poorer microbiome, and a more polluted environment. Curiously, the rise in allergies has been accompanied by an increase in autoimmune diseases such as multiple sclerosis, type 1 diabetes, and rheumatoid arthritis. In all these conditions, the immune system attacks the body itself as if it were overly alert and did not have a real enemy to face. This presents us with a challenge. How can we reduce allergies without reintroducing parasitic diseases? Is there a way to reprogram the immune system to return to a more balanced state? Scientists are exploring treatments that could train the body to be less reactive, from controlled exposure therapies to the use of specific probiotics. The goal is to help our immune system behave as it did before we eradicated parasites. But there is still a long way to go. Humanity has achieved incredible feats. We have eradicated diseases, improved the quality of life, and eliminated threats that loomed over our ancestors for millennia. But as often happens, every advancement brings unintended consequences. By eliminating the parasites, we may have caused a mismatch in our own body, leaving it without the enemy that kept it in check. Now our immune system remains on a war footing, but has no one to fight, so it attacks anything. It's like having exterminated the predators in an ecosystem. Without wolves to regulate them, the deer multiply uncontrollably, disrupting the natural balance. However, this does not mean we should bring back the worms. No one wants to return to a time when parasitic infections were the norm. Instead, the solution must be to find new ways to balance our immune system without reversing our progress in health. Perhaps in the future, we can develop treatments that simulate the presence of parasites without the negative effects, or that restore the diversity of our microbiome safely. For now, the only sure thing is that science continues to seek answers. And meanwhile, every time someone suffers an allergic reaction, their body keeps fighting against an enemy that disappeared a long time ago. I want to invite you to visit our health coach at tubisalud.com if you want to learn more about this topic. Our coach is ready to help you. Don't forget to share this video with friends and family to help us create more content like this. See you in the next one. A hug.